this is what we're going to get into today. This is what we're going to learn today, okay? It comes from the idea that there is a fine line between liberty and idolatry. That's a very fine line. And if you remember anything today, remember this idea that in our lives, there's a fine line between liberty and idolatry. And so today, we're going to learn how to spot idolatry in our lives, and we're going to learn what to do about it. So if you want to see if you have an idolatry problem, just look at the good things in your life, because there's a fine line between liberty and idolatry. And if you're not careful, you can cross that line before you even know it. So, you've got this list of good things in your life, right? And you sort of laid them out on the table in front of you. How do you know if you've crossed the line? Well, let me just give you a simple little test. I call it the idolatry test, okay? It's just 3 questions long, and I would just encourage you, you're sitting there on the table, there's all the good things in your life and things that you invest in, things that are important to you, and now you're going to kind of take that next step, and you're going to see how they hold up to the test. And doing this, by the way, testing yourself, wonderfully biblical thing to do. I love 2 Corinthians 13:5. Look at it. It says, examine yourselves to see if your faith is genuine. Test yourselves, okay? Pretty exciting stuff. So we're going to do this rich biblical thing. We've got all of our good things laid out in front of us on the table there, and now we're going to apply this simple little 3-question test. Are you ready for the test? All right, here it is. First question in our little idolatry test is this. What do I talk about? What do I talk about? Let me just ask you. Do you talk sports nonstop? Is that just what you talk about all the time? Do you talk about your kids' future in sports all the time, nonstop? Is that what you just talk about all the time? Do you talk politics nonstop? Do you talk fitness and beauty nonstop? Okay? What are the good things in your life that you talk about all the time? Because if you're talking about this all the time, it's an indicative that this thing may well be out of control for you. Take a look at the words of Jesus. Jesus says in Luke 6:45, what you say flows from what is in where? Your heart. And so if you're just talking about this thing all the time, if you're kind of like obsessing it, you're going to be talking about it. So if you want to know what's really important to you, just take a look at what you talk about all the time, okay? Now, is it wrong to talk sports, politics, etc.? No, not wrong at all, okay? Perfectly fine to talk about those good things. But if you're obsessed about it, if you talk about it all the time, it's worthy of you saying, okay, where is this thing really is for me? All right, next little question that you can ask yourself is this. What is it costing me? And I mean really in dollars and cents. What's this costing me? Look at what Jesus says in Matthew 6:21. Wherever your treasure is, there the desires of your heart will also be. In other words, bottom line here, your money follows your heart. So if you're spending way too much money on something, if you're spending to the point that it is impossible for you to enjoy being generous when good, godly things come along, you're spending probably too much money. So just take a look at that. I mean, if you're really, this is just where your money goes, man. You need to be honest enough and just say, wow, I put a lot of money into that. Maybe it doesn't pass the test. One more question here for you, and that's, where'd the time go? Where'd the time go? If you spend a lot of time on something, it may be out of line. Does this pursuit, this thing that you're wondering about, does it consume every waking moment for you? Is it something that you just pour tons of time into? Is this the kind of thing that you would go, oh, that's going on this weekend? See you later, church. I'm not even going to go there. I mean, forget it. Now, am I saying you can never go to a sporting event on Sunday? No, that's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying if this is the thing where you pour all of your time, if you blow church off with it in a heartbeat to go do that thing, then maybe you need to ask yourself, am I too involved here? Has this become an idol in my life? But do you ever stop and push back and say, okay, where's the arc of my life really going? Because my time on this earth is really, really short, and I want to spend it on God things, not just good things, right? So, simple little test, right? Just take a look at it there. What do I talk about? What is this costing me? And where did the time go? Just take the idolatry test. Now, what if you test positive? All All right, what do you do if you test positive for idolatry? Okay, well, you quarantine, and I'm kidding. All right, here's what you do if you test positive, okay? You pull down your idols before your idols pull you down.